to that question. The first answer is that it's the right thing to do, that there is a normative, moral case for doing this. The second, and I'm going to focus on this somewhat more heavily, but I don't want to underestimate the importance of the first, is that there is a business case, that it is in the enlightened self-interest of the business from an economic perspective to do this. And in fact, KPMG, for example, in looking at company CSR reports, found that 74% of them talked about the economic considerations as being the driver for attention to corporate social responsibility. And in fact, this rise to prominence of corporate social responsibility that we've seen around the world and even today here in Africa is in large part reflective of the strengthening of the business case for CSR. It's not that business people have found religion, it's that the business case has got a whole lot stronger. Let's unpack that business case a little bit. What might be some of the benefits of giving attention to CSR? Well, fundamentally, for many businesses, it's about increasing their business reputation and the trust that their various stakeholders have in the business, sometimes described as creating a license to operate. It strengthens the brand, which can be important not just in a consumer marketing context, but in other contexts as well. It increases revenues. It may be that there are new business opportunities identified in giving attention to CSR. Perhaps there are consumers out there that will pay for a more sustainable product. It might reduce costs. So companies find that costs can be reduced if they look at eliminating or reducing their CO2 emissions. Companies find, like Starbucks, for example, that by giving attention to CSR, their employees are more loyal and less likely to leave, reducing employee turnover, again, reducing costs. It might be that it's meeting the expectations or even demands of customers or helping employee recruitment, motivation, and retention. It could contribute to a more favorable regulatory environment, or at least more positive discussions with government bodies, with regulators. And in a whole variety of ways, it may increase the support of a variety of different stakeholders and reduce their opposition, perhaps, to some of the things that the company might be doing. Stakeholders such as investors, the local community, media, and NGOs. We have Tony Attar, I believe, here from Shell. So this maybe looks familiar to you, Tony, but here you can see at least one version of why Shell gives attention to sustainable development, its view of the business case, and I think you can see there's some quite considerable overlap with the business benefits that I previously identified. But there are limits to the business case, right? So there's a business case, there are these potential business benefits, but actually there's been a fair amount of research done on the business case, on whether attention to corporate social performance gives rise to a better corporate financial performance. And what do these studies find? Well, in a meta-analysis that looked at 167 studies, Margolis, Elfenbein, and Walsh found that CSR doesn't destroy shareholder value, but the overall effect, while positive, is only fairly small. The strongest effects are for charitable contributions, revealed misdeeds, where there's an inverse relationship, so companies get punished for being exposed for having done bad things, and good environmental performance.